of DLC 3. Here is my prep. So my opponent had Urshifu Single Strike, which was his S tier. Then he had Hippowdon, Ferrothorn, Nidoking, which is really strong, Incineroar, Jellicent, Lycanroc Regular, Toxicroak, Abomasnow, which can set Veil, Electivire, Shiinotic, which cannot go for Spore, and then he had Alolan Dugtrio, which with Sandforce it actually hits really hard, and it's also pretty fast. So for me, I realized I have a really good matchup into him, and realized that 11 of my Pokemon, like out of 12, like everything other than Weezing, is like a logical bring here, right? So I had to find the 6 most optimal Pokemon. So to do this, I wanted to have a team of 6 that covers for everything that he has, because I don't just want to bring the 6 Pokemon that do the best and then have one of his lesser known Pokemon like Toxicroak sweep through my team or something like that, right? So this is what I ended up bringing. Uh, so I brought Zero Aura with Plasma Fist, Grass Knot, Close Combat, and Knockoff. So Zero Aura gets Blaze Kick for Ferrothorn, but I was like, Close Combat already does a lot of damage. Like the damage calc is probably like 10-15% less for Close Combat. So that's why I just ran with Close Combat. Also, Close Combat gives me coverage against Incineroar and Urshifu, whereas if I go for Blaze Kick, I'd probably have to bring Play Rough for Urshifu, or I just bring Close Combat still. Like, I still needed Close Combat for his Urshifu and his Incineroar. So, yeah. The investment here, like the special attack investment, allows me to go for knockoff onto a switch into on. So say he switches into Hippowdon, I can go for knockoff on the switch in and then knock it out with Grass Knot. That's what the investment's for. The speed just outspeeds his fastest Pokemon, which is Lycanroc. So yeah, and also it's 357 I think outspeeds Lycanroc, but I went one point ahead of it just in case he tries to make a Scarfer at 357. So yeah. Then next I saw Victini kind of just plows through his team. So I just had Expert Belt with Blue Flare, Blue Flare, Bolt Strike, Focus Blast, and Substitute. Substitute's just here because he has 2 Sucker Punchers and Urshifu and Toxicroak, and I want to be able to set up a substitute on it. And with this investment, 220 special attack, I can 2-shot Hippowdon with Blue Flare, and with 56 attack and Expert Belt, I 2-shot Jellicent with Bolt Strike, and then I didn't really need another move, but I realized that basically if I set up a substitute and he goes into Incineroar, I really don't have anything to hit it, right? So I can U-turn, or I can just have Focus Blast, and if it hits, it does like it 2 shots basically. And the thing is, I have Victory Star, right? So Focus Blast is actually 77% accurate, so it's not that bad. So yeah, Victini like it kind of plows through his team, and then next, if you look at his team, he has no hazard remover. Everything is grounded, and I have sticky webs. So like logically, I'd bring sticky webs, right? And yes, so Slurpuff also fills another role. Is that as a physically defensive set, it takes two Wicked Blows from Urshifu, and it knocks it out with Dazzling Gleam. It also 2 shots Ferrothorn with Flamethrower, and I can pass wishes onto my team. Also, I have Sweet Veil here, so I can't fall asleep because he has a Sporing Shiinotic. So yeah, so Slurpuff deals with a lot of threats. So I feel like Tyrantrum does a lot better than Slurpuff in this matchup, but Slurpuff just deals with a lot of important threats, and that's why I brought Slurpuff. So yeah. Then Cryogonal. So this is a pretty specific spread. The speed is here to outspeed Nidoking. With this special defense investment and HP, actually, like Nidoking never 2-shots me, and I can 2-shot it back with Ice Beam. Toxic is here so I can just Toxic Stall the Jellicent. Like even if he has his own Toxic, I can just always switch out. Obviously he can too, but this also puts a timer on Jellicent. And I could run Freeze Dry, but Freeze Dry doesn't 2-shot Jellicent, and Ice Beam actually allows me to 2-shot Hippowdon and Nidoking, which with Freeze Dry, if he runs a little bit of defensive investment, it won't. So I felt like that was important. Also, that's why I have 48 special attack. It allows me to 2-shot a lot of things, and yeah. Originally, I was actually thinking of running Acid Armor to take on Ferrothorn, but I was like, it's okay, I just want Toxic, and I can just switch out into something else on Ferrothorn. Then I brought a Rillaboom with Sub-Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Grassy Glide. So the speed here is just, if he tries to speed creep Rillaboom, it won't happen. And then also Victini's speed here was to outspeed Urshifu Single Strike. So yeah, let's look into Rillaboom. So it's physically defensive because I wanted to take on his physical attackers. Also, I want to be able to set up a substitute and bulk up on Ferrothorn, and if he runs a fully physically defensive set, me having fully physically defensive will allow me to stay behind his sub just in case he brings Body Press. And also this allows me to take on Urshifu single strike better. It also gives me a switch into Lycanroc, which is really useful. And yeah, it also gives me a switch into Electivire, and it gives me a better answer to Dugtrio. That's why I have physically defensive. And also I have 60 attack on here, so basically if I set up a substitute on Ferrothorn and then he switches into Nidoking, I 2-shot with Grassy Glide if I have 60 attack, and I feel like that's important. And then yeah, sub bulk up, Drain Punch Grassy Glide just hit his team really hard. Drain Punch is really good recovery, and yeah, Rillaboom just does really well against his team. And then looking at it, I've pretty much covered everything on his team, but I wanted a secondary answer. I wanted a secondary soft check to Urshifu. I wanted a secondary way to kind of deal with Incineroar, and I wanted some knockoff support. I also wanted a secondary way to kind of deal with Lycanroc and Alolan Dugtrio, because they do a lot of damage to my team. So I thought about just bringing Girder, right? With this investment, I don't get 2-shot by Nidoking with anything, and I don't get 2-shot by Banded Urshifu, unless he... Yeah, I don't think I get 2-shot by Banded Urshifu. And then Mach Punch is really good priority, right? Because it hits Urshifu, hits Dugtrio, it also hits Lycanroc. Drain Punch is good recovery, knockoff just for, like, taking off items, which I feel is really important just in case this goes to a long game, right? So if he tries to bring a really defensive team and I'm not able to really break through it, then I have this Wish support and knockoff support, and yeah, I can just try to slow play him with a Slurpuff, Cryogonal, and Girder, and then eventually find a way for Victini and Zeraora to break through. And then yeah, bulk up, just in case he doesn't have like Whirlwind or something on Hippowdon, I can just bulk up all over it, and then yeah, also same with Ferrothorn, right? Like Ferrothorn, I can just set up bulk ups all over, and then I was thinking of having Iron Fist here, but then I was like, I mean, if he like paralyzes or burns me or something, like if he tries to Toxic this, then Mach Punch is actually hitting really pretty hard, and that's why I thought Guts is actually worth it, because it's a decent status absorber now. So yeah. Also, I want to go through some other Pokemon that I was thinking of bringing, and some other Pokemon that actually match up better. It's just these 6 give me the best chance to, like, these 6 cover for all his threats the best, right? But some Pokemon like, say I had Tyrantrum here, 238 speed, so at a +1 or Sticky Webs, or with Sticky Webs up, I outspeed his entire team, and then Close Combat, Earthquake, Crunch, just destroy. Like, so Close Combat destroys Urshifu. After Hippowdon's weaken, Close Combat does like... So basically, let's say if I weaken Hippowdon, then this thing just destroys, right? Close Combat one-shots Urshifu. +1 Close Combat does beat Ferrothorn most of the time. Nidoking is one-shot by Earthquake. This thing takes way too much from Close Combat. Strong Jaw Crunch one-shots most Jellicent. Like, it's literally for the max defense Jellicent, does like 99% minimum. Lycanroc does not take a hit, Toxicroak does not take a hit, Abomasnow does not take a hit, Electivire dies, and then Shiinotic dies too, and also Dugtrio, so like, Tyrantrum really did destroy his team, but I thought Girder was a much safer bring. Then, another mon that destroyed his team was Berserker. This speed allows me to... So I didn't expect him to bring Lycanroc, right? Even though Lycanroc's decent in Sand Rush, right? But I have Grassy Glide and Mach Punch, so I wasn't really worried about the Sand Rush variant. But yeah, this speed allows me to outspeed Urshifu under Sticky Webs. It also one-shots Urshifu with Close Combat. Ironhead with Steely Spirit hits really hard. And then in Grassy Terrain, Seed Bomb actually hits really hard. And +2 Seed Bomb in Grassy Terrain, it does like 90% to Hippowdon, which is a situation I can actually get into a decent amount of the time. So yeah, like even this matched up really well. And then some of my upper Pokemon, let's look at those. Mamoswine, yeah, obviously, like, this set just destroys this team, right? But I felt like, I had other mons that did better. Thundurus also, I could have run a defensive set with Defog, or I could have actually run a Defiant set against, like, Intimidate Incineroar or something, right? And then, if I get a Defiant off, like, say Incineroar's, like, Momentum's, like, Parting Shot, right? And I switch in Thundurus, then I get +3 attack. And I'm pretty much faster than everything other than Lycanroc. If I have Sticky Webs up, I will be faster than everything. Also, this was the spread I was looking to run against a defensive, to run a defensive Thundurus. But yeah, if I have the offensive, right, knock off Superpower, Grass Knot for Hippowdon, and then any coverage, or even actually, like, Defog. Really good, right? But, like, I didn't need it. And then Milotic, I was messing around with these EVs to see if I can get it to be a good defensive mon, right? Because I can also pivot with, Flip Turn, and then I realized that if I run... No Milotic set takes 2 hits from Urshifu if it's choice banded. So I was like, You know what? It's okay. I have other mons that do better. But yeah. I was also thinking about like Coil. I was even thinking about Dragon Dance. But then I was like, okay, there's Feral Thorn, so Dragon Dance isn't that good, right? And then for Feral Thorn, I was thinking about like Sub Coil. But then I was like, Urshifu already breaks through with critical hits, right? So I was like, it's okay. So yeah, why did I bring this team? So first of all, this team gives me two priority mons. Cryogonal's a much safer rapid spinner, right? Because then having Thunders be knocked off or something, because I also have recovery on this. Cryogonal also takes on Nidoking. Slurpuff just sets up webs, right? Like that's its main purpose. And Victini and Zero Aura, just in case I don't get up webs, they still do well. So yeah, that's the reasoning behind this team. Like it thrives in sticky webs, it also thrives outside of sticky webs, and it also has priority and it has hazard removal. I didn't really need Stealth Rocks in this matchup, right? Like the only thing Stealth Rocks really impacts is Incineroar, and then maybe if he brings a Abomasnow, but there's no way he's bringing a Abomasnow when I have like a Victini, right? That's like always gonna come. So yeah. Let's go into the battle. Actually, because I already had this battle, so I want to show you. So he brings the Sand Forest Doug Trio. He brings Urshifu. Obviously, he brings Toxicroak, which actually a Sword Sand set does really well. He brings Jellicent, and then I was expecting the Jellicent, Ferrothorn, Hippowdon. Like that's pretty obvious, and then Urshifu, and then these two are actually really smart brings. And I think he brought a good team, right? Because he probably didn't bring in Sinnoh because he was scared of competitive Milotic and probably Defiant Thundurus, right? So yeah. Let's go. He leads Hippowdon as I lead Girder, right? Because I thought Girder matches up okay into everything. I can just get knockoff off. Then immediately, like, I can easily go for knockoff. I can easily go for bulk up, try to set up, right? But immediately, I have an opportunity to switch into Slurpuff and just sticky webs. Like, no matter what he does, unless he doubles out into Toxicroak, I get up. Or no, unless he doubles out into Toxicroak or Doug Trio, Alolan Doug Trio, which he's not doing, right? Because he has a like Hippowdon matches up okay into Girder, so he's not switching out. So if I switch out into Slurpuff, get up webs, then I'm in a good position. So I just double out into Slurpuff instead of knocking off. As he goes for Toxic, and I'm like, he can go for some really strong attack, right? But Slurpuff's only purpose really is to get up webs, right? Because Girder can also deal with Urshifu. So I get up webs, he get up rocks, right? And then here I can just go into Cryogonal, right? Cryogonal matches up really well into Hippowdon, right? Because I don't expect him to have like Rock Slide or something, right? And then yeah, Levitate and Heavy Duty Boots, and then he goes into Jellicent. So he was probably expecting Rapid Spin, right? Because I wouldn't bring Defog if I have webs. But instead, I just go for Raw Ice Beam, just in case he tries to attack me with Fire Fang or something. I want to just be able to two-shot it. Or if I go for Rapid Spin, he's Rocky Helmet, and then he Toxics, then he can try to wear me out. So I was like, I'm just going to Ice Beam. It's the safest play. And yeah. And then here, I was like, I'll just Toxic, right? I want to be able to see if he has Toxic or not. And yeah, he only has Scald. So yeah, I can recover stall this now. Because he probably doesn't have Toxic of his own. Yeah. And then my Ice Beam gets disabled. So here I'm going to go for Recover. Right? Yeah, go for Recover. As you're probably going to go for Scald. And then here, he has no business of staying in, right? He's definitely going to switch out into something, right? And since he's going to switch out, I'm just going to go for Rapid Spin. Yeah, I go for Rapid Spin on a Ghost type. But he switches out into Feral Thorn. Also, I get to know if he's Rocky Helmet or not. And the speed boost, right? If he goes into like Urshifu or something, it's okay, right? And then here I switch into Rillaboom immediately, right? Because I think he might go for a knockoff. And I don't want Victini to take a knockoff. I don't want Zero Aura to take a knockoff either. Because I actually need the Life Orb to be able to knock out Hippowdon with a knockoff Grass Knot. So yeah. Also, Grass Knot's like powered up in grassy terrain, which that means it Okos Hippowdon. So yeah, whatever. So I go into Rillaboom. He goes for a really good play. He Thunder Waves because he knows I'm not going to go into Zero Aura. Because even like I need to be like Banded Blaze Kick to knock it out, and even that still has a chance to not. So really smart Thunder Wave. And then here I can just substitute, right? I break through the paralysis. He goes for knockoff. So now he goes for knockoff. I was expecting him before, but it's okay. And then I go for bulk up. And then he goes for knockoff. Doesn't break, right? Because I'm physically defensive. And then I'm back up to full. Then I bulk up again because it's Rillaboom. Too good. And then he breaks the sub. And now I'm just hoping that like... Now I'm hoping I get a substitute up. Because I don't want him to strength sap. Yeah. Because if he strength sap, he might be able to kind of stall Rillaboom out. Not really. Because he's also toxic. So yeah, now I just Grassy Glide. I'm also faster than a lot of these things because of sticky webs. But yeah, I'm just gonna grassy glide this just in case he has roar, right? Because I want to be able to get a lot of damage off. He goes into Feral Thorn, so he's probably trying to get the barb. So he also doesn't have Whirlwind or Roar on Hippowdon. That's good information. And then, yeah, I just Drain Punch. Just like half. And then I kind of lose back all that recovered health. He goes for Power Whip. That's not going to break the sub. And then I just go for Drain Punch again. Should knock this out. Right? Okay. Then here you're thinking that, like, how does he beat Rillaboom, right? Obviously, you can pair hacks, right? But what's like a safer way to beat Rillaboom? And the answer is that he U-turns into Toxicroak, right? Then he forces me to keep grassy gliding the Toxicroak because he could be set up and I don't know that yet. And then he goes back into and then Toxicroak either gets knocked out or Toxicroak knocks out Rillaboom, or Toxicroak knocks out Rillaboom, and then he goes into Urshifu, and then he can go for a crit Wicked Blow. And since I don't have Substitute up, and crit goes through defense boost, he'll be able to knock out Rillaboom. But something surprising happens. Let's see what he does. He goes into Toxicroak, right? So here I'm expecting Toxicroak to be like, if he's if he's Nasty Plot Toxicroak, right, then Zero Aura beats it. But if he's Swords Dance with Sucker Punch, then Victini can set up a substitute on it, right? And I literally can go for 3 substitutes if he wants to like play that predicting game. And eventually he's gonna get it wrong, right? And if he doesn't get it wrong, then he just wins and like good job. But I'm much safer going for 3 substitutes. So yeah. So then here I just decide to stay in and Grassy Glide. If I thought he was gonna set up, then my if I thought he was gonna set up, then I probably would have switched out into Zera Aura, right? Because I can actually take up plus two Sucker Punch. But since I knew that Victini could beat the Swords Dance Toxicroak, I actually stayed in and just went for Grassy Glide as I get fully paralyzed, which is expected. So yeah, and then he goes for Earthquake, and then he just forfeits. So apparently he was what Toxicroak? I think he was like Choice Scarf Toxicroak, and he didn't have a poison move. So yeah, he said he didn't really prepare for Rillaboom that much, so that's what happened. But yeah, you see, the reason I stayed in and went for Grassy Glide instead of gone into Zero Aura is because I knew that I can deal with the Swords Dance and I can deal with the Nasty Plot set. So yeah. So that's the battle. He forfeits. So we end up winning 6-0, and Rillaboom gets 6 kills. Yeah, but he should have realized that his out was U-turn and then Wicked Blow, but it's okay. We take these wins. And yeah, he'll come back. He'll come back much stronger next week. He has a good team. He might want to make like 1 or 2 transactions and get a defogger rapid spinner or something. But yeah, otherwise, he has a he has a he has a pretty good team, and he's also improving a lot. Like this guy works really really hard, and something like yeah. Oh no, what could I've? Also, I want to look through this battle and see what I could do better. Um. Oh, so the Slurpo switch was really smart. Cryogonal switch was pretty smart, right? And then the ice memes were spot on. The toxic was spot on, and then I kept the rapid spin was good, right? So he thunderwave the Rillaboom. What else? What could I have done? So if we went for a knockoff, right? Then do I go into Zero Aura? Because how much Zero Aura doesn't take that much from knockoff, right? And then I can. Actually, you know what I should have done in that situation? I should have just gone into Girder. Wait, no. If I go into Girder, right? Because I don't want to lose its Eviolite because of Urshifu, right? Because also Slurpuff was toxic at that point, and I don't want. And yeah, I can't really switch in twice with Slurpuff. And then Urshifu would kind of just run through my team. But yeah, uh, so yeah, Rillaboom was actually the safest play here. It's just he happened to have Thunder Wave, and sometimes you don't really expect that. And then yeah, knockoff was smart, and then I just got bulk ups up, and then yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, so I think hopefully week 3 we have a longer battle. But yeah, I hope you realize that sometimes you don't need to bring your best Pokemon. You just need to bring your best 6. And sometimes you're like say you have 6 Pokemon that match up really well into your opponent, right? Those 6 might not be the best 6 you can bring though, because say these 6 match up really well into your opponent, but say your opponent has something that can get through those tops, those your best 6, right? Then you might need to bring your like 7th or 8th mon. And that's what I did here, right? Like Tyrantrum matched up much better into this team than Slurpuff, but I need a Slurpuff to support with Sticky Webs and also the Wish and take on Urshifu. Tyrantrum also could have replaced Girder, but I needed Girder as a more of a defensive check in this game. So yeah, it's kind of like those things that really make a difference in draft, but otherwise, I'm looking forward to next week. Also, I have a lot more time on my hands in January, so I'll probably be doing a lot more videos then. Also, sorry for just rambling on, but yeah. Bye-bye. Also, oh god. I actually don't even edit out this end part, but whatever. Let's go file, new screen recording, and stop screen recording. So, bye.